No.
Known that this disclaimer is intended to make it clear any views and or opinions expressed on the Fox Paranormal Chat are just that. Any topics of discussion during a broadcasted show is in no way the exclusive view nor opinion of the host or any web radio network staff. You're listening to the Fox Paranormal Chat on the W.E.B.B Radio Network. And now, Michael and Destiny Fox.
And we are live.
Yes, you're live.
All right. Sorry, guys, we're running a little bit late, a little technical difficulty, but we're here now, and we hope everybody's joining in with us. I am stuffed. I mean, my son cooked a birthday dinner. It's not my birthday today. My birthday's tomorrow. But he cooked steak like Jessica, Debbie, let me tell you, Longhorn cannot compare to this. The steaks are about inch thick.
Inch thick
And
steaks.
he cooked them perfectly. Oh my God. It was so good.
Man,
I am so
that just put the top on my night. That sounds great.
Oh my goodness, it was so good. He seasoned it all up. It was just great. So I am stuffed. We've had a good day today. I got to go shopping. It's always a good day when I get to go shopping. We have Jessica with us tonight, our co-host. How are you, Jessica?
I'm doing good. How are you, Destiny?
Good. Now we have webs in the background. Cool.
I like that.
I do too. I might get balloons tonight. I don't know where those balloons came from the other night. It's just like,
I know.
and it's good to have Debbie with us from
Hi.
What's the name of your podcast? It just
Spooky
slipped
Things.
Spooky Things. Yes, we were on her show Tuesday night, and now she agreed to come and do ours with us. It's so good to have you.
I'm so glad that I'm here. Thank you very much.
We'll probably never get her again after all this technical problems we had to begin with.
Yeah, she's probably saying, no,
are you kidding?
I'm not going to do your show anymore. That's it.
Yeah, well, things happen.
This is my show every Tuesday night.
So be sure to catch her Tuesday night show right here on the W.E.B.B network. Tuesday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern time. And I hear Jessica got some good news today.
Got a new job.
Yay.
So excited. Good. A boss that actually seems like a really nice lady.
Well, good. You need a good boss for a change.
Truth.
I bought a camper today, and it's just an old piece of junk clunker looking thing. But when I look at it, I see a lot of potential. I know Jessica, when she saw the picture, she's like, oh my God, you bought that? Hey,
we had one just like it when I was a kid.
Maybe it's the same one.
It's an old thing, but she's going to be pretty when I get through with her.
That's what you do is you restore them, make a glamper out of it.
Right.
And I want to. This is my project. The guys can help if they want or not. The only problem is now I've got to go get it. I don't know how, but we'll work it out. I think Big Ronnie's going to help me. I hope so. Hey, Ronnie Youngblood, one of our team members just popped in. He sent me a message and he said, hey, are you guys live? I can't find you. And I said, give us just a few. Glad you're watching. Debbie is also a member of W.E.B.B Paranormal.
I
Okay.
am. I am a fairly new member.
Oh, wow.
So I'm excited.
Is
Yeah,
this the
yeah, I'm
first team you've
excited.
ever been with?
Oh no. No. I've been doing this for quite a while. Um, I was with another team for the past few years, and we've done a lot of things there. But before that, I just did a lot of things on my own. At one time, I worked with, this is back years ago when I lived down in Miami. I worked with the police on a couple of like searches for people.
Mhm.
So one case was it was the Jimmy Rice case that was brought to us, and that was back years ago. And another one, trying to think what the little one's name was. I'll think of it in a minute. Really sad, sad case. But anyway,
So you use
it's
psychic
interesting
abilities
doing
to
that.
help?
Do what?
You have psychic ability?
Um, I'm sensitive, and I don't really know how to really relate to it. To tell you the truth, it's just something that I've had all my life, and I have 3 spirit guides with me at all times, and I just basically I used to freak my husband out all the time because we'd be driving down the street and I go, "Be careful, there's going to be a dog up here on the corner. As soon as you get up close to him, he's going to dart right out in front of you." And he'd look over at me like, "How do you know that?" I said, "I don't know. I just do. Just watch for the dog." Sure enough, we come around that corner and I say, "There's the dog." And he goes, "How the hell do you do that?" I don't know. I just do.
I do that with
But
cars. Michael and I will be riding down the road, and all of a sudden, the next car that comes by is blue or white or black. And every time I say it, it's like I see the color in my mind, and
right.
then I'll say, "Oh, there's a white car coming by." Sure enough, out of nowhere, here comes a black car.
Isn't that strange? And another thing, do you, I don't know, and Jessica, maybe you could even relate to this too. Whenever I think of a color, it's a certain feeling I get. I'm not really seeing it as so much as I'm feeling it. It's odd. But usually, if I go by the feeling more than I go by the sight, I'll get it.
Maybe
Like
has something to do with the shark eye.
it could. More than likely, it does. But I know with a darker color, like maybe a dark blue, a brown, or a black, I get a real low feeling. And if it's something that's bright, like a yellow, white, I get like a high
Mm-hmm.
kind of like vibration. It's like a high vibration to me. And I can tell it from that. It's odd. It's kind
That's
of
your
cool.
chakra in action.
Yeah, it is. I was never like I'm fascinated with Lee Triana, because she's generational, and they get taught so well from grandfather or grandmothers, well, even grandfathers, but down through the line, and they get taught that way. And although I do know that mine is generational, it wasn't talked about. So there was no guidance or anything. You just kind of had to make your way through it on your own. So that's basically what I've been doing.
Right. My
And
grandmother taught me a lot. My mother wouldn't accept any of it, and it was passed down from our grandmother to my sister and myself.
that's nice.
So ours is generational too.
It's generational. And I
Mhm.
find that so many people that is very true, even though they don't think that their mother or their father could. especially the mothers. It seems to come a great deal from the mother's side. Oh no, no, my mom wasn't, really, no. Turns out she was. She's just very quiet about it. Very, very quiet. Um, worrying about if it ever got out that she would be or he would be, you know, talked about in the wrong way. But times are different now. Now we share more things, and we want to, like with my kids. My kids were grown up in this environment, and I've taught them what I feel, experience, see, whatever, and they're following suit. So it's kind of cool watching what I have experienced all my life and seeing it with my two sons. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm real proud when my son starts telling me about his dreams, visions, things he
Hmm.
sees and feels and senses. I'm like, it makes me proud that he is beginning
It
to
does.
express his gifts.
It does. It does with me as well. Um, the we have like a rich background. My mom, she just passed in September, and I'm still trying to get used to this new normal, without mom around. She was full-blooded German, 100% German, and my dad, full-blooded Creek Indian. So I've got the best, and both of those are very, very strong, you know, as far as generational gifts. Both of them are. And but I grew up with Mandelas and beer steins all up on the same wall. You couldn't go wrong. So, but
So
it
what
was
kind of
interesting when we
places have you investigated? I mean, when you were investigating on your own and with other teams and so forth.
well, one of the main places that we would love to investigate was the Hotel de Funiac. We were there actually for years. We've been investigating with that, and basically have such a rich history on the Hotel de Funiac. And I'm getting ready to take the W.E.B. Paranormal team in there, and I think it's going to be really, really, really just very interesting. Because of the results that I got with the previous team, I want to see how those results coincide with the results that I'm going to get with the W.E.B. team. Although I know there's going to be results because you're going to get them. You're going to get them. The little girls, the two little girl spirits, they know me very well, and they're just cute as they can be. They were very, very cautious in the very beginning. The mother was very cautious, but now whenever they will see me, it'll be like, "Hi, Debbie," and you can hear them. "Hi, Debbie." They're real
Oh,
cute. Oh, yeah, I know. So whenever we go there, we would bring like the little dolls and little toys for them to play with, and they would actively play with them. And they're just as cute as they can be. Um, Went to the May Springer house once, and that was an interesting investigation. Numerous private calls that we go on. Um, well, numerous businesses that we would go to as well. So, I mean, I've done it for years, just simply years. But it's always a new experience.
what's the
Everything
scary?
is a learning experience.
What's the scariest
Oh,
investigation you've ever?
by far, I would say this hospital that we went to, a defunct hospital. Actually, it's now being used for something a little bit different than a hospital. Um, there was something in there that was just gunning for us as soon as we walked in, and ended up throwing one person down the stairs that bumped into me, that bumped into their husband, that bumped into somebody else, and we all four went down the stairs. All of us did. This thing was so powerful. On camera, we called it the hanging man because that's all he did. He just hung in the doorway. But he hung in the doorway from the time we got there until the time that we finally packed up to go. He never left. But he was very animated. He would move, move his arms or move his legs or twist his body. So he was animated the whole time. But bad things happened in this place. And there's just a lot of residual things there. That was a place that we also found very low-level forms of, I call them minions, very low-level demons that were in there. Not anything that, earth-shaking or anything, but just enough to just really just aggravate the crap out of you. And that was the first time that I ever saw something crab walk across the ceiling right on top of me, right across the ceiling. That was scary. But that thing was down in. Why are they always in the boiler room? Oh, I don't know. It's
I don't know.
like
They love those places.
they do.
Basements. I hate basements.
Yeah. It's like, what's the crappiest place you can think of? Oh, let's go hang out there. So it just never seems to fail. Whenever you go there they are. But yeah, that thing was it was nasty. It was like really nasty. And there was one other place that we would go to, and we would actually go there quite often. And there was one night that we still don't know what happened to this day. We have no idea what it was, but there was a sound that was so loud. We all jumped sky high, and it was like right in back of us. And the interesting part, there was 5 of us, I think, that were sitting there, and all 5 of us heard it, but all 5 of us heard it in a different way, in a way that would frighten each one of us in a different way. Because we're like, what did it sound like to you? And we all 5 came up with something completely different what it sounded like. And I said, no, that's not what I heard. I heard this. But yet we all reacted to it at the same time, but yet we all heard something that was individually frightening to ourselves. So I thought that was like, that was one of the most oddest things that we had come across. But it was really frightening.
Yeah, it is. Ronnie says it's always the attic or the basement. Absolutely. Mostly the basement.
Well, a lot of paranormal investigators, especially the older ones, will say that they like to hang out away from people so that they naturally go either the attic or the attic.
Their own little.
It's the most secluded place to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it's because also they can do their worst in a place of seclusion because they're not going to be interrupted. And they can fit in behind the shadows. There's so many little creepy hiding places that they can get to. People don't like going down there. So, and I really think it is just they choose the place they can do their worst. And I think that would be a basement or a creepy attic. But the basements are worse.
Yes, by far. Yes, worse.
By far. Worse. And let's face it, the boiler room in the basement, if there's a boiler room down there, cross yourself before you go in because you're going to find something in the boiler room. I don't know. Again, it seems like an obligatory thing. If there's a boiler room, there's got to be something in there. But that's where we found that creepy little guy, was in the boiler room of a hospital. So creepier than the morgue. The morgue really didn't have a whole lot of activity to it compared to the boiler room in the basement.
Because that's where all the bad ones would have.
Yeah, they go hang out there.
Probably had a poker game going.
So
Probably had a poker game going.
Probably not.
right? Everybody got the memo but us.
Yeah.
Hang out in the boiler room. But yeah, they're fascinating places. They really are. They're truly fascinating. And I've had the pleasure of working with quite a few different type of people. And it's interesting when you're investigating with the complete different abilities with different people. And it changes the way that you investigate. Don't you find that? I mean, it does. It can really change the way you become more tuned into what they're doing and the way that they're doing it. It's like, well, that's really interesting because
Right.
I don't see it. Right.
Mhm.
Because when I do an investigation, I don't look at it like if they have certain gifts that I don't possess. I find it fascinating. And
Right.
it's like, wow.
And you get to see
And I
different
tend
people's techniques, and you learn from them.
yes.
And I've had people say, hey,
Oh yeah.
that question you asked, I've never thought to ask that. And I would be the same way. I love investigating with new people.
Yeah. I know, it's great. It is. And just like we were saying the other night, a lot of these teams that are out there, they're great. I mean, they are doing such an amazing job. And I can't say it enough. Keep doing it. Keep getting those results. Keep bringing those questions up. Keep searching. Keep doing this. Because I think we're getting somewhere. I really do.
Absolutely. And, I found sometimes you think the question that you want to ask is just the silliest question, but don't be afraid to ask it because you could get
Exactly. Exactly. Um, we've had some bizarre questions. And even the bizarre ones, you have to sit back and think, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Let me think about that.
I have a question on an investigation.
Maybe you're right.
And when Michael listened back to it, he said, "Oh, baby, I'm so proud of you." And I thought it was the dumbest question I'd ever asked. And I said, "Do you have a particular job in the spirit realm you're in?"
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
I
a
thought
great
that's
question.
dumb. And then Michael said, "That's good because when you think about it, maybe." You've got different spirits, and I mean, with multiple spirits, you've got maybe some that the job is to do this or that. That's why I asked.
Well, no, I believe that. Yeah, I do. I believe that. Um, there was an investigation that we had gone on, and there was an older woman there. She didn't like children at all. Children were not her thing. And so she used to pinch, scratch, said, don't bring kids in here. It's not a good plan. And we got to talking with her, and as it turned out, she was German. So she didn't understand a lot of what was going on. Well, I understand and I speak German because my mom was German, and I was raised in Germany up until I was 12 years old. We were raised in Europe. And I carried on a conversation with her for about 30 minutes. Who her husband was, what she was doing, what did she do for a living, um, what was she still doing there. It turns out that her husband, something happened to her husband coming home from work one day, and she was waiting for him. And that's when we found out that she was waiting for her husband, but he got killed either by the train or on the train. His life got ended. And that's why every time the train would go by, the spiritual activity would pick up. And nobody knew that before that. And, but it was sad. It was just so sad. And, but that's what she was doing. Her job was to wait for her husband. And that's what she was going to do. So you know, it's heartbreaking when you can really start understanding why they're there. And there's not a whole lot you can do to help with something like that. Not really. So it was like, we just let her go about her business. That's what she's there for. That's what she does. She's waiting for her husband. Just don't send kids around her. She don't like kids.
Have you ever attempted to or been successful at crossing spirits over?
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a few of them. And it's such a rewarding experience when when you can do that. Some of them just simply don't want to go. They want to be where they are, and yeah, you just got to respect that. As long as they're not doing any harm to anybody. It's like, this is where they want to be. They got a reason. Let them go. But several have come up and asked, please, help me. And what a rewarding feeling when you're actually able to do something like that. It really is a rewarding feeling. And then, of course, it helps the people inside the house as well.
Mm-hmm.
We've managed to get rid of some that don't want to be there. Like, guess what? You got to go. And we've given them the heave-ho. And it worked. But it's just like what we were talking about the other night. Doesn't do any good if the people who are in the house continuously bring them back.
Exactly.
They're not that far away. Exactly. They're just not that far away. So it was a general rule, if we put our team members in jeopardy to do this to help you, and you bring them back, don't call us back. That's going to be a back and forth game, and that's not worth putting the teams in jeopardy in order to do this for somebody who's going to play the game of back and forth. We're not going to do that.
And you were talking about
the
feeling that you get helping somebody. When you think about it, like probably 60% of the EVPs that we get or responses on Spirit Box, we always hear help us, help me, or help.
Yes. Yeah, you do. It's heart-wrenching.
Right.
It really is. Especially.
I'm sure Jessica has gotten the same responses. Jessica is a member of Fox Paranormal, but she lives in Blairsville, Georgia. No,
I live in Cornelia.
almost South Carolina.
Oh wow!
But
You're up there.
she also has a team there that she runs herself, and so she's like part of us, and then she's got her own that consists of her and her daughters, I believe. I don't know who else she has. I think that's it. But they like to go out and do investigations at like bridges, just historical places.
Mhm. Yeah, I enjoy doing that as well. I have my two sons, and a lot of times if you call it, we're a team, but it's just us. We're just family. And so we'll go out and we'll do something like that as well. And I have my group, Hallowed Ground Paranormal Research Council, as well. And I have a Facebook site with that. And I'm the founder of Hallowed Ground Paranormal. But we've done some local things ourselves. And there's one down here. It's called the Bellamy Bridge. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Bellamy Bridge, but
Sounds familiar.
that's
Sure.
yeah. It's about 15 minutes maybe from the Florida Georgia line.
Mm-hmm.
It's really more towards Campbellton, I guess. It's in between like Campbellton and Greenwood, I guess, like right up in there. And that's an interesting thing to do. And I was telling my sons what I would like to do is to get our kayaks and go out there, like at night when no other sane person would do it. And I said, let's go out there with the kayaks and just sit there really quietly and see what we hear. You know, sometimes the best way to get activity is to not involve yourself in it. Just let it come. They know you're there. They know that you're there. And I said, I really kind of wonder what we would get. Of course, they won't go because of the alligators. Yes. Yeah. Well, one of the little minions down in the boiler room that day, but it was a very low level. Those are very, very low levels. There were, at one period of time, we experienced something like that at the Hotel de Funiac itself. Since I've been going to the Hotel de Funiac, I have not seen anything like that since. But at one period of time, there was something that was demonic there. They do have an entity there, but it's not demonic. It's just a really, really, really grumpy man. And he can be a handful, but he's human. And he's a bear. He's a real bear. But this one thing that was there, that thing was demonic. There's no doubt about that. So that one was a tough one. At one period of time, like they've got these. It's not a big place. It's got like one major hallway upstairs, wooden floors, wooden doors. Everything in it is like polished, varnished wood, real old timey. It's just beautiful. And we had gone out. We opened up all the doors, and we were trying to get this thing to come out from the one room that it was in, which is room 7. And we kept calling it, come out, come out. That thing just at one point was like no, and just like boom, every door shut at the same time, right there. And I was like, whoa. And person I was with was like, what do you want to do? I said, go down there. I want to go see what's going on. So just go on down there. And I'm knocking on the door. I'm like, hello, I'm still here. But yeah, that thing was, it was really, it was no fun at all. It was just no fun at all. And you just, you have to use your common sense in something like that. It's like, you want to get down to what's going on with it, but then again, you don't want to be stupid and do something that's really going to like, why is there a child's arm underneath the door? Go away. No, Nana's busy. Go away. I'm so sorry. Okay, he's gone. I see this hand doing this under my door. Like, oh, and I'm just talking about a demon. So, when you call them, they come.
Right. Have you ever crossed any cryptids?
One time that I can think of, there was a situation where, and this goes all the way back into high school. Okay. Hang on just one second. All right, I'm gonna.
He has to take care of the arm.
Yeah, the arm.
Well, At least it was actually attached to a body, because when she first said that, I was like, disembodied arm?
Well,
Yeah,
you've heard
really?
disembodied.
So she had a disembodied.
I had it all. Oh, I had it all. I had the arm, I had the voice, and I had the knocking on the door. That's when I said, okay, that's it. Get out of here. Okay. So he's 4. If
We
that's
have
not
2
demonic,
year.
I don't know what is. Oh, do you? They're sweet at 2.
Yes, he is.
Talk to me in a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that you have to be really careful, because you just, people, I've noticed that a lot of people, for some reason, they get this sense of empowerment. They're going to go in there and they're going to just take care of business. You know, my rule of thumb is they've been around for a lot longer than you have. You want to go in there and push your weight around, you're going to see how far and how hard they can push back. And it's not something you want to experience. So don't go in there charging.
We try to steer away from provoking investigation.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. I try to remain as respectful as possible.
Yes.
These are people. These are people just like we are, and you're not going to get anywhere with them if you're being rude or provoking or insulting. I think demanding answers. I don't like it when somebody talks to me like that. So, I do my best to go in as respectfully as I possibly can be, because these people, they deserve every respect that they should get. But something like that, no. I go in, I'll identify what I can identify, and then I'll pass it over to somebody that I feel, if it's above what my capabilities are, I will be the first one to say it. We need to get so-and-so here. We need to bring this up to this person or that person. See what they think. Let's run it by somebody else. If I don't feel like I'm capable of handling that situation, I'm not afraid to say, regroup here. I'm not going to put any team member in danger, because I think that I can be a hot shot and go in and handle something that I'm far capable of doing. So.
Right. We've had those times when we go as far as we can with a case. Of course, in the very beginning, that happened 1 or 2 times. But we were not ashamed to admit that we needed somebody else to pick up left off. But through the years, we've been able to become better educated with the paranormal, so that we're able to go a lot further in the case than before.
And every case you learn. Every case that you go on, you learn. Even the smallest of cases, you've learned something by that case. And you build up your knowledge based on the work that you've done and the experience that you've had. And I'm an old fart, so I got like a lot of experience. I've seen and done a lot of things, but I can still walk into a building today and be like, whoa, I've not seen that before. It happens all the time,
Mm-hmm.
So, you just have to be careful.
What advice would you give someone new in the paranormal field? Someone looking to start investigating for the very first time?
I think the best thing that a new person could do that's coming out in it, first of all, go out with an experienced team right off the bat. Don't try to go in, trying to figure this out on your own. This is not a good plan. An experienced team is going to sense danger probably before you can. Definitely going to be able to protect you better than you can on your own. Don't ever go somewhere alone, ever. And then when you do go out on an investigation, watch and listen. Pay close attention to everything that's going on. I just, when you're first starting out, build your database. And the best way that you can do that is watching, listening, seeing how people are handling situations. I'm talking about a very experienced team. And learn from them. Don't talk so much, learn. And it's great when a new person can use the sensitivities that they have, but don't let it get ahead of you. You still have to use common sense. And I think sometimes that's a hard, it's a hard balance, because your mind will tell you, oh, I can do that. Oh, yeah, I can do that. And your senses are telling you something different. It's a hard balance, I would say go with your senses. If your senses are that keen, go with your senses. Even though you think you can do it, go with your gut feeling. Be careful. But that would be the best advice I would give. Just
I've always told
build your
new
database and
investigators,
watch.
to use what they think they have, as far as their gifts, and use their mind and try to work everything together in one unit.
Right. Right. It's a tough balancing act,
Mhm.
And even as a seasoned investigator, I think we get caught up with that, especially when you're really wanting to help somebody. It's, your senses are telling you, be careful, be very, very careful. But you have that desire to want to help, and you see a situation where it's like, I've handled this 100 times. And sometimes we let our defenses down. And that can be very dangerous at a very dangerous time. So it is. We're all going to make mistakes. Every one of us are going to make a mistake. But that's how we learn.
Yeah, the best advice
So,
I forgot one. When I was younger in the paranormal was, and he quoted the old Kenny Rogers song. You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run, and not be afraid to run.
oh, that's the best advice. That is so true. Um, there's been a number of times that I've been like, oh, no, back out, just back out. And
We've done it too.
oh yeah, you have to, otherwise we might not be sitting here. People that watch the paranormal shows, at least I know from the shows in the past, it's like they think they're immortal. They can just go in there and it doesn't appear to be any danger to it. There's actually a lot of danger to it. And how many times with us being in the field that we hear of a seasoned investigator has gotten seriously injured or even lost their life. And you're pretty sure you're pretty sure where what happened. Got themselves in a spot that, or something followed them. It could be anything. But all these little weird accidents that happen that can take somebody's life.
Mhm.
So it's like, if your gut feeling is telling you no, follow it. Back out. Don't turn your back. Back out. Back out. And, don't go back in until you really think you're going to be with somebody that knows how to handle something like that. But safety first. Always safety first. And a lot of these things happen in buildings that are decrepit to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
These buildings need major work done to them. like the hospital when we went in there before. I'm not sure about, and it's been quite a while since I've been in there, but there were literally holes in the second floor, holes in the ground.
I think we went there.
It's
What was the name of it? Seems like it started with a B.
no, this was the Defuniak Hospital.
Oh, okay. We went to Old Bryce Hospital. That's what it was. And when I think back on that, we went all through that building. There's no roof in some places.
Right.
Um, the floors were so old that it was like you were walking on dirt, walking into the front of the hospital. And fascinating place, though. I absolutely enjoyed being there. I love old places, old houses, old buildings, just for the history of it, or just to look at them, not necessarily to investigate them. But when we went in there, you could look up and see the sky. We had our little necromancer app. Is that the name of it?
Mm-hmm.
We had our app going, and it kept saying TV, body, dead. And we were like, where's the body dead? And it said, past the TV. And it just kept saying that. And so when we were leaving there, going out the drive, and it's in Alabama, um, we saw an old TV on the side of the road. And I was wondering if we had walked past there, if we could have got past there, a lot of brush and all, if there was a body back there somewhere. Because it just kept telling us behind the old TV.
Oh
And there's
wow.
TV right there on the side of the road.
But that
And it's
building is
amazing.
not safe to be
It
in.
is not safe. The walls could fall in on you. The columns that used to hold up the front of the hospital, it's just the columns standing there now. So, we were being very brave or very stupid when we went there. But definitely,
That's a fine line too.
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
it really is. But a very fascinating building. Some people had told us it was the old mental hospital, but the I think it was just the hospital. I don't think it was an asylum or anything like that.
But they did have a crematorium on the property.
Yeah, they did. It was off. It was off to the left, I believe, of the old hospital.
Yeah.
And there's like little buildings all around the drive out there. It's not safe to go out, and it is posted now. There was no posted signs when we went out there, none anywhere we looked. So that kind of gave us the okay, we can go in. But the last time that we rode by, just to look at the front of it, we didn't go inside. There were posted signs, and we didn't go any further than the posted signs.
You know, it bothers me. It just actually bothers me when I get on the internet and I see these people that are going into private property to do these urban explorations.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody owns that, and I would not, I, me personally, I could not just walk up to somebody's property and just walk right into it. You know what I mean? The way that these people do. And if one of them was to fall through a floor and really hurt themselves, first of all, a lot of them go by themselves. Who would find them?
Exactly.
You're going.
And a few
You're
years
going in.
ago, there was a paranormal investigator found dead in an old
Mhm.
abandoned building. He had been murdered. So you never know what you're going to walk in on. You might walk into on some squatters. They might not be nice squatters either. So you have to keep
Exactly.
all that in mind when you're going out to a haunted location. You may not be the only person in there.
And I'm more scared of people than I'm scared of anything else that could be in that house.
Me
Mhm.
too.
Yeah. Uh, you know, some crazy person being in there. And no, that person is more likely to take my life than anything that could be in that building. And that's a more real possibility than I'm afraid of.
Right.
And yeah, you do. You take that risk whenever you go into an abandoned building like that, especially out in the middle of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't see it. Not to mention the snakes.
Oh, that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
We did see a snake out there. I got out to go take a picture of an old building. We were driving around the little circle, and just as I got out to go take the picture, a snake went crawling across the road. I did a 360, got my butt back in the car. I was like, no, I'm done. We can go now.
I'm done. I know I was riding, I've got a Harley. I was riding my bike down the road one day, and I thought it was a stick going across the street. It was a snake. It was a big old rattler of some kind. I didn't stick around to really find out, but I felt so bad because there was no way for me to get around him. He literally took up most of the road, and my bike is actually a trike. It's got the two wheels in the back, and I thought, man, I'm not going to make it around it, so I just drove over it. It was like a rubber band that's out in the street, and as soon as I run over it, it went ooh like that. It came back in, and that thing came up and just about got me right at my right butt cheek. It would have got me. That would have been kind of hard to explain how that happened. But I thought, oh my, that's the first time that I've ever been able to say that I almost got bit. You know, saying, oh, that'll bite you in the butt one day. This thing just about did with me. And boy, every time I go past that thing now, that same bit of the road, I'm always looking
Mm-hmm.
for
Have you
that darn
seen the
snake.
videos on YouTube where people just riding their bikes and a snake jumps from the side of the road and strikes at them?
Mm-hmm.
I would be
It
scared to
will do
death.
it. I know, because you're not that far away from them.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. I was so scared that day. I thought, oh my God. And this thing was huge. I mean, it was so huge. And I felt kind of bad about running over it, but not that bad. When it came up and tried to bite me, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
This thing is big and he's in a really bad mood. I'm out of here. But the snakes are everywhere, especially up in this area. Well, you guys' area is the same thing. You got those big snakes up there.
The
I don't
reason
know.
I
I
have
don't know
about
what's worse.
15 or 20 cats outside at my house, and I feed every
I
one
have
of them.
5. Yeah.
Oh, I have
They're
quite a
great
few.
snake catchers.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see
They're
a
good
snake
snake
last
catchers.
year.
Mm-hmm.
Snakes, field mice. Yeah, they catch everything.
Yeah.
Yes, little things that live in the ground, groundhogs or whatever,
Moles.
Oh, the
moles.
little moles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and poor little
They've got a
birds.
few of those
I
too.
I had
I
my bird
know.
feeder out in the yard, and I thought it was just fascinating to see the birds come and get their little bird seeds. And then I noticed the cats were sitting out there, and they were watching the bird
Yeah.
feeder. And I said, "Oh, the cats love watching the birds." And then one day, here come one of the cats across the yard with a bird in his mouth, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I set
Oh,
that poor bird up." I wouldn't put any more food in there because I I was sacrificing the
I
birds
know.
for the cats. I really felt bad about it.
I know. My big thing is hummingbirds. I hadn't seen a hummingbird up until 10 years ago. That was the first time I ever saw a hummingbird living from Miami. And I came up, I didn't see any hummingbirds down in Miami. And I came up here and I saw a hummingbird and it about blew my mind. I'm like, I saw a hummingbird. Everybody's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I thought it was this great thing. So I wanted to set up a hummingbird feeder out here. And I thought, no, like you, I'm setting these things up for, for death. So I'm not going to do it. So I've never gotten a hummingbird feeder, but now I've got the cats out there.
We
Makes you
have
sad
one.
things.
Well, Michael has one out on our porch, and he does have hummingbirds that come out there. I always thought it was the same one, but one day we saw two of them. I caught a perfect picture of one of those hummingbirds, and they're hard to photograph because they're so
They
fast
are.
around.
Oh, they're so pretty.
If you hang it up high enough, the cats
Yeah,
can't get it because I
this
have
was
cats.
You got to hang it up high though. How high do they fly? A hummingbird?
No, they'll go to the tops of trees.
Yeah. So they can go pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
I might want to try that because they are so pretty. I would really like to put one out. I just don't want to, put them in danger with the cats around here. So, but we've seen all kinds of critters out where I live. All kinds of critters. And we have everything from, well, there's been bear, wolves. We've seen wolves. The coyotes are everywhere.
We
But I
have
saw a
cats.
big old timber. You have coyotes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Driving down the street one day, I saw this big old timber wolf. There are timber wolves in Florida, but apparently there's a big cat sanctuary not that far from here, and I think every once in a while there's somebody decides that they're going to take a midnight walk, so they do. This was a long time ago though too, and some people had told me, oh, it could come from the sanctuary down the street. You just don't know, but we've seen some interesting things out here. Now, when I moved out on this property, the next door neighbor was thrilled to be able to do it. Believe me, he loved this. He came up to me today and he said, well, do you know what happened out here? I was like, no, but I have a feeling I'm about to. And he said, yep. He said, it was a dark and stormy 4th of July. I thought, oh, okay. All bad stories start that way. And I said, yeah. And he said that the guy that lived here, evidently, he got into some kind of a drug deal with somebody that didn't go good, and that they came over here and they shot and killed him on this property. And the unfortunate thing about it is that there was a handicapped child involved. And as he laid in the hallway of his home, that handicapped child laid in the living room on the couch the entire time until they found him the next day, which I thought was just tragic. So this guy's going on about, how this, coroner's office was out here and all that. They never said anything to me about that when I bought this place. Nobody ever mentioned a word about that. And I thought, well, if it is, it is. People die everywhere. So somebody happened to die here. I'm sorry about that, but it happened long ago. I don't have anything to really worry about. I'm out there one night and I had just put my barn up for the horses. And I smelled cigarette smoke. Nobody here smokes cigarettes. And I go outside and there's a guy, looked just like one of those statues of a cowboy with his foot resting up on a pole. And he was smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, hello, who are you? He just kind of looked over at me, didn't really move, and he continued to smoke the cigarette. And I thought, oh, hell no. So I went walking over to him. I said, hello. So he just kind of like put the cigarette down, crushed it out, and he walked around the corner of the barn. And I'm like, hello. And I walked around and he was gone.
Wow.
Cigarette smoke was still in the air, but there was no cigarette on the ground.
Would you?
What was that?
Well, I was saying hey to Michael, waving at us.
Oh, So, we have that on this property already, here. Every once in a while, I'll see a guy in a white t-shirt with blue jeans walk across the between the kitchen and the dining room, and and he looks a lot like my younger son, Sean. And I'll like, Sean, and well, no, it wasn't Sean. So we experience that probably about a couple times a year here at the house. That's interesting.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
it has been such a pleasure to have you on our show tonight. We are so glad that you
Thank you.
joined us.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. I really have. Hopefully, we'll be able to do some investigations coming up.
Yes,
I would really like that. I'd like that a lot. So, but it was certainly nice seeing you guys.
Nice
It's been a long
to see
time
you
since
again.
I've seen you.
I know, a couple of days. Gosh, that's such a long.
Yeah.
Jessica, I
Well,
am so glad you got a new job. I am tickled to death for you.
I am too.
Good, good. Long time coming.
you've been waiting a long time for a job.
I had a temp job, but it wasn't quite the thing I hoped it would be. So now I'm going back into my field. I'm a paralegal.
Oh, are you? That's fascinating. I tell my sons all the time, I'm a font of useless information. I am just a font of useless information, except in the legal area. As soon as I think I've got it figured out, I don't know nothing about it. I cannot figure. I'm amazed how people can keep up with all the legal, and it seems like it changes every year. I don't see how you guys keep up with it. I really don't.
It can be difficult.
Yeah, yeah. It's challenging, but it's great. Congratulations.
Thank
So,
you.
but thank
Well,
you guys so much for inviting me
we're
onto the
missing
show.
Kobe tonight. Kobe was able to go back to work tonight. He battled a kidney stone for about 3 weeks, and he finally got that taken care of and was finally able to go back to work today. We have to pick him up in about 30 minutes, so we're going to say good night to you, and we'll talk again
Thank
real
you.
soon.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you soon, Jessica. Till next week, guys.
Bye-bye.
Feel love.